Welcome back, Nintendo collectors. I'm Alex. We're back in the arcade, but I've got no pickups this week, guys. So I thought I'd go straight into a gameplay video. Now a couple of you guys wanted me to do a Sinclair Spectrum gameplay, and I did promise I would a couple of vids ago when I did do a video of my Sinclair Spectrum collection. But I just didn't think it would make great viewing. But, you know, I am passionate about it. I do like my Sinclair Spectrum games. I just don't play them as much as I should do. I mean, this is a Nintendo channel and I'm trying to keep it Nintendo, but I'll just do this one-off vid of one of my favourite games back in the day, which was Bruce Lee. Now, Bruce Lee was pretty big in the school growing up in the 80s. Every kid wanted to emulate Bruce Lee or do his kicks or one thing or another, because we all watched the Bruce Lee movie. But back in the UK, we had some of the hardest and toughest censorship laws in the Western world. A lot of stuff was censored, a lot of stuff was cut out, a lot of the nunchaku scenes were cut out. But I was lucky enough, I did a paper round from a sort of newsagent stroke video shop where they used to rent the early Betamax and VHS videos. And the guy I got on really well with there, one Christmas he knew I was into Bruce Lee, and he gave me a copy of Fist of Fury, I think it was, and Enter the Dragon, and they were both full-length uncensored videos, and I was like the most popular kid at school for it. Every kid wanted to come back and watch the full-length Enter the Dragon, the full-length Fist of Fury. So when this game came out in '85, I think it was, this was like a must-buy for me. It's by US Gold and Datasoft. It's a fantastic little game. One of the first games I actually completed. It's only 20 levels long. It's a sort of side-scrolling, sort of platform fighting affair. It's a really cool little game. I like it. And so I thought I'd show you a little gameplay. I'll complete it. We'll load it up in a little bit. And while I'm loading it up, we'll just do a little game video, a little tour of the room, shall we? Because my games room at the moment is in transition. So let's just load Bruce Lee up. Right, guys, here's my little computer programmer data recorder. It's all set up, ready to go, so I'm just going to press play. Oh, better press load dit. Right, so we're all ready to go. I used to love the loading screens. I used to love watching the artwork, the anticipation of what the game was going to be like. So there we go, that familiar sound of a Sinclair Spectrum loading the game. Brings back so many memories. Sitting around, fiddling your thumbs, picking your nose, as a kid, as you did, and reading the instructions, because this was the time to sit down and read the instructions, read a little bit of the story. Not all Sinclair Spectrum games had a bit of a story. This one has, although I haven't bothered really much to read it. But you read the instructions. It's got some cool artwork on here. Really like the artwork. I used to ponder over this quite a lot back in the day. Really nice portrait of Mr. Lee himself. And that scene looks like out of Enter the Dragon to me. It's got the ladders and the fortress in the background. The green Yamo, who I used to think was Bolo. Remember Bolo in Enter the Dragon? He got his comeuppance at the end by John Saxon. I think he beat him up. But yeah, it's a great little game. But while it's loading up, oh look, the loading screen's loaded up already. Look, it's the same as the artwork on the front cover of the cassette. It's by Ocean here. No, I thought, oh, it must be distributed by Ocean. But US Gold made it. That's probably what's happened there. Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I think it was on the Commodore 64 and on the MSX, and I think it was made for the Atari 8-bit as well. But while that's loading up, I'll just have a quick tour of the games room. As you can see, my American SNES collection is starting to grow. And I am in transition at the moment because a couple of my arcade games have been sold. I've sold Donkey Kong 3 and I've sold Popeye, but Popeye at the moment is being used as a test bench for Sky Skipper at the moment, so that's why Popeye isn't in here at the moment. And the plan is to move Sheriff, Donkey Kong Jr. down that end of the wall underneath the Nintendo sign. So I've got this wall here where they are now for all my console games, TV, so I can sit down where my red tent is here and play console games, because at the moment I can't, and it really does fuck me off. It's pretty uncomfortable just sit where that data recorder is. That's where I normally have to sit, and it doesn't get very comfortable. After about half an hour I just want to go back in the house and sit down, relax and watch a film. And that's not what it's about. I want to be able to come down here with my daughter, pick up and play some console games, not just arcade games, but console games as well, because that's a big part of me back in the day. And the only real arcade games I'm playing down at the moment is Donkey Kong Jr. and Sheriff. And I think you can have too much of one thing sometimes. And I've had my enjoyment out of Donkey Kong 3 and Popeye. It's time to move them on. But next year I do plan to get another Popeye, wait for it, which I'm going to convert to a Sky Skipper. So I need to get a Project Popeye cabinet for next year. So I'll do another tour once all this has been moved around and I've got everything set up how I want to. But there you go, guys. There's all my games up there. As you can hear, Bruce Lee's loaded up. That's the screen here. So it didn't take too long, did it? What was that, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that? People complain about the loading screens. I don't get it at all. To me, that is nothing. 2 minutes? Must have been 2 to 3 minutes. It's nothing, is it? You wait for that or longer for a modern game. And then you've got to update it and all the other palaver that goes with it. So yeah. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to set this camera up so we can do a complete run through of Bruce Lee. This time you're reading paper, the next time it's gonna be glass. Right, here we go. Bruce Lee, 1984 by Datasoft. 20 levels of absolute Bruce Lee awesomeness. Got to collect all these yellow lanterns to proceed on to the next level. There's the big guy there is supposed to be the green Yamo, but he's not green at all, he's white, because I don't think the Sinclair Spectrum could handle all the colours. So it's just like a monochrome white. Bruce Lee's got a kick and a punch button. It's pretty much the same. If I stand still, I punch. If I jump, you kick. It's quite agile, the controls are really responsive. And the graphics are pretty cool at the time, really. I mean, it's not that much colour clash. You can see a little bit there on the lanterns. But because they kept the characters monochrome, there's none of that between the sprites of the characters. It's just where, you know, like the yellow is. Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I like it. He takes about 4 hits. He takes about 3. They're pretty easy to get out of the way as long as you've lined them up properly. They can cause you problems though. So you've got to concentrate. It's all about timing, guys, in this game. It really is. So what's your favourite Bruce Lee film? Enter the Dragon? Mine is, but I have to say Fist of Fury is pretty much a close second. I just love the nunchaku scene. In fact, that was the first Bruce Lee film I ever saw, was Fist of Fury, which my employer at my local newsagent gave to me. So I used to do a paper round for him. And he gave me the full-length version of it. It was absolutely brilliant. I was the only kid in the school that had the full-length version of Fist of Fury. It was fucking unbelievable. And some of the dubbing in that is just classic. And so it's him against Japanese school. Oh shit, come on. See, they can cause you problems. You get hit 3 times, you're dead. Sounds pretty crap in this game, I have to admit. These sort of levels can be a real pain in the arse as well. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. But I guess Enter the Dragon's got the most quotes, isn't it? Oh, he just made it. Thought I was going to get it then. Oh, giddy out of it. Yeah, Enter the Dragon was cool, guys. That was such a cool film. Oh, I missed it. I've got to go back up to the top again. Shit. I love the scene with Uhura, played by Bob Wall, who was actually Chuck Norris's student. Chuck Norris was actually 7 times karate world champion back in the day. He was really cool. And I think Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee met at Long Beach, California in 1967. I think Bruce Lee was doing a demonstration there. He did the famous 1-inch punch demonstration. And he knocked one of Bob Wall's students. Well, basically, he placed one of Bob Wall's students 6 inches away from his fist, and a chair another 6 inches away from his body, and he hit him, and he went flying into this chair, and absolutely amazed everybody there at that event. And I think within the circles of the martial arts world, that kind of made him quite famous. And then obviously went on to do his films, and worldwide he became a global star. But unfortunately he died before Enter the Dragon was released, which was a real shame, because Bruce Lee liked to go into the cinema and see what the crowd's reaction was. He used to sit at the back of the cinema, and I think on one occasion the crowd actually found out that he was in the cinema, and they went absolutely ballistic and carried him out of the cinema onto the street. That was in China, and that was for Golden Harvest Studios. And it's funny, if you listen to some of his early films, you can hear the aeroplanes going over, because Golden Harvest Studios are right next to the airport. And the sound quality on some of those films is so bad. But that's what makes the film. It's got so much character. We loved it back in the day as kids. The amount of quotes we used to say as kids. There's just so many. I can't think right now, I'm playing this game, but there's just so many. I mean, the famous ones like Enter the Dragon on the boat, where he's gone, "What's your style?" Brucey goes, "My style? Well, you could call it the art of fighting without fighting. Show me some. Don't you think we need a little more room? Where else? Down Island. We can take this boat." Okay. The boat goes out and he starts trying to pull himself up, and he's going, "Don't try and pull yourself up on the line as I let go of the rope." It's just classic. It's so funny. John Saxon, brilliant actor in that film. Big American actor back in the day. And of course Jim Kelly, who played what's his name? Can't remember his name now. The black guy, absolutely brilliant, cool as anything, that guy. The best, coolest black character I've ever seen in any film. He's just so cool. Unfortunately he died a couple of years ago. I don't think there's many left from that film. I know John Saxon's still alive. But what a film, man, Enter the Dragon. For me, it's unbeatable. You just can't beat Enter the Dragon. I mean, that nunchaku scene in the dungeon. Every kid wanted to be Bruce Lee. Sorry guys, I'm trying to play this and talk at the same time. It's not easy. Bear with us. But as you can tell, I am a massive Bruce Lee fan. I think, you know, if I was to go on Mastermind, I would do pretty well on Bruce Lee, actually. That would be my chosen subject, Bruce Lee. I used to be a member of the Bruce Lee fan club. Back in the day, I used to get monthly sort of fanzines come through the post. And some cool pictures of old Bruce. Still got them all up in the loft. To me, he'll always be the best. And it's one of those films, you know, I've got them all on DVD, but every time they come on TV, I've got to watch it, and I never end up watching the DVDs. And my missus is like, why are you watching this on TV? You've got it on DVD. I was like, I know, I've just got to watch it. It's bizarre. It's like when I go to gaming events, I have to go and play Donkey Kong, even though I've got Donkey Kong in the arcade. It's weird. I don't know what it is. So I'm talking, I know this off by heart, really. But you can get caught out, so I have to be a bit careful. There's no time limit on this game, guys. It's just take as long as you like. Just collect those lanterns, and that's it, really. Just trying to remember the first Bruce Lee film. I can't remember what it's called. Big Boss, that was it. Not the best film, but it was his first, so we'll give that to him. We'll let him off that one. And then it was Fist of Fury, then it was Way of the Dragon, then it was Enter the Dragon, and then the last film, Game of Death, which he made while filming Enter the Dragon. So it was never complete, so they got another actor in to finish the film off. And I know Linda Lee went to see that film at the cinema, and that must have been hard for her to see someone else play her husband, who was absolutely rubbish. Only it was such a bad film. I mean, we watched it just for the last, 10 minutes, where you've got Dan Insonato and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, that's all you watched that film for that fight right at the end, because that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a basketball player, and he was about 7 foot tall, and he studied Jeet Kune Do underneath Bruce Lee. Dan Insonato as well studied Jeet Kune Do. This is the end level, guys. That's it. Finished. How cool is that? All the gold. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that, the Sinclair Spectrum. You can tell I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. How can you not like Bruce Lee? He was a legend, wasn't he? But that was a one-off. Back on track to Nintendo games now. And as we're near the end of the video, as I didn't do many pickups, it's a pretty short video this week, but we've still got the box art to go. And this is a really cool game this week. Absolutely love this box art. This is just unbelievable box art. And probably one of my favourite Super Nintendo games as well. It's Contra-free Alien Wars. Oh, this is just an absolutely unbelievable game, guys. If you haven't got this or played this, you have to play this game. It's worth picking up a Super Nintendo just to play this game. It's just unbelievable. The music's fantastic. The gameplay's awesome. It's a run and gun type platform game. It's absolutely brilliant. And look at that box art, guys. This is the American version, the American box art, and it's by far the best. It beats the Japanese, it beats the PAL version. It is just brilliant. And you know, if you're displaying your Super Nintendo games, you want this one at the front because it is just so cool, right? It's quite 80s in sort of style. You've got the typical sort of muscle-bound mercenaries at the front there, but that's 80s all over. But you've got everything in this picture here that represents this game. You didn't have to look on the back to see what the screenshots were. All you have to do is look at the front of that cover, and it tells you everything about the game you need to know. got the end of level bosses on there, the 2 characters you play as, and a little bit of the action of what the game is and what you're up against. It's absolutely awesome. Look at that, guys. You've got this guy here who bursts out of the doors on one of the end of level bosses. You've got this demon guy here. I love the Contra font. It just absolutely brilliant, absolutely lovely. You don't even have to turn this box around, right, to have a look to see what the screenshots are, because that's what you did back in the day. You turn around, have a look on the back, and there you see you've got an idea of what the game's going to be like, what the graphics are going to be like, because that's what you're interested in. And it's good. It shows you a bit of mode 7 there. It shows you an end level boss. So it shows you sort of holding onto a chopper there. But the front is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You don't have, that sold the game straight away. And you know, if you're a fan of displaying your box art, this is going to be right at the front, isn't it? It's just absolutely brilliant. I love this game. So yeah, another fantastic game by Konami. Can't recommend this enough. Pick it up, guys. So cool. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys, and that's a little bit short, but next week will be more pickups, more gameplay, more Nintendo goodness. Keep picking up those Nintendo games, guys. You can check me out on Facebook, Nintendo, Ninty Arcade, and on Twitter at Nintendo Arcade. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, have a good weekend.